Well, you know, I expected Mikey to actually come at Spence, but it's the other way around. And obviously he's waiting to counterpunch and see what he...
Mikey Garcia moving up a couple of weight classes. He said, everyone tells me this fight is too risky. That's why I wanted to do...
Well, Mikey's fought taller guys before. He's usually the shortest guy in the ring. So it's not that he hasn't experienced. Plus, he's been sparring with 160-pounders. So he got used to doing this in the gym for the past 12 weeks.
Garcia has gone the distance, 12 rounds in each of his last 3 bouts. Final seconds, round 1. Round 2, Mikey Garcia facing a 6th consecutive opponent who has held a title at some point in his career. Errol Spence Jr., the reigning IBF welterweight champion.
Landed from either guy, but he was touching. He's doing stuff like that. Mike stepped over to his right. Errol Spence's left there, just like that. He's making that little slip there, looking to counter. And he's done that twice now. I think he's finding a little spot for that move. And there he goes down the middle with that right hand. Real cat and mouse game right now because both of them are very, very cautious of each other's power. But it looks like Mikey's starting to, walk Errol down a little bit. And that tide might change, so.
Mikey's throwing that left hook and it's coming around pretty good on Spence, but it's not hitting him yet.
No, neither one of these guys. That was a good little body shot by Garcia. So he's starting to figure him out. This is kind of what Kell Brook did, was he used a lot of cute moves left and right on Errol Spence. Before Spence starts turning that pressure on like he's doing now, and this is what
with this jab, get him focused on the jab, and then you start throwing other combinations.
This is round 3, scheduled for 12 for the IBF World Welterweight Championship belt.
I think his head movement and his... Looks like Errol wants to start pressuring though harder. But right when he does, Mikey makes these slick moves and he throws him off track for a minute, and Errol goes back to boxing for a second. So it's a real tug of war.
Ball left from Spence connecting.
Well, actually, Mikey had that hand right up there, looping left hand. So it's a cat and mouse game. It's a cat and mouse. Gaming landed a nice little short right hand. 2 of them right there. He's playing it smart and he's being effective. Didn't have last time down when it was thrown on. Ooh. Mikey, as smart as this, shouldn't be getting hit with.
Final minute, round 3.
But again, Errol's got to find his openings too, and he's found one now. It's not easy. Neither one of these guys are easy to find openings on.
Body shot by Spence.
None of them really has opened up to the body yet. They're still head hunting, still figuring each other out.
Yeah, well, they're keeping their distance. You notice they haven't really closed the gap on each other. Once one of them gets in closely.
Time winding down in round 3.
Cut. Here we see a big left hand coming around like a hook by Spence.
Take compose.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Heidi. That's Derek James.
That's landed a couple of good left hands. He was trying for that looper around the ear on Mikey Garcia, but Mikey got hit to it. He's keeping that right hand up much better after getting clipped last round with it. But see, Spence is going around, then he's trying to go.
Now, these are very competitive rounds. Errol still using that jab to score points. He's having success here in round number 3. As you just see right there, popping him with the jab, and it's scoring for me, and I'm sure it's probably scoring for the judges seeing this from ringside as well.
All right, thanks. Spence is doing the right thing. He's moving around. He's throwing that right jab, and he's mixing up that left hand straight and around, and he's keeping the fight in the middle of the ring, which he's supposed to.
A look at the number of jabs landed. 21 for Spence. 11.
Posing a problem for Mikey. He's really having a hard time counter-punching right now, and this is a problem. If he can't counter-punch, he's going to be in for a long night or a short night.
Final minute, round 4. There's the left by Spence.
Mikey Garcia is keeping his head really stiff right now. He needs to move it a little bit more.
Body shot by Spence.
Great round for Spence right now. He's been throwing that right-left continuously.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happened there. Spence throws a jab. Mikey slips it. Mikey came back with a little short right hand, left hook. The distance. He's going to have to get inside. He said, close the gap, get inside. Now we got to go for it. He knows he's got to make the turn right now.
Back to Heidi Andro. Heidi.
Thank you very much, Robert. We heard you say this is the round you need to go for it. What do you want to see Mikey doing?
I think Mikey could back him up. Look, like, just like he's doing right now. Fighting on the outside of Spence is too long and reach, and is just jabbing his fight through. If Mikey could pressure him, and look, right, just like that, backing him up.
Thank you, guys.
Así va, así va.
Thanks, Heidi. So Robert Garcia happy with what he saw over the first 45 seconds here in round 5.
Well, yeah, you almost have to sacrifice.
Boxing, Errol Spence, and he's mixing up the punches big time. And then all of a sudden, when Mikey tries to jump back in there, he's getting punched as well. So
getting it coming and going, and he's having 2 feet. And he's having 2 feet grouping. He's got to jump right back on him, or he's going to be in for a very, very long night on the end of that jab. That's where he's got to go to work. He got right hand somehow like that. You got to do anything right now. Pointed out in the corner. He's got to get inside.
His brother Robert, his trainer. This is round 6, scheduled for 12 for the IBF World Welterweight title. Errol Spence Jr., the current champ. Mikey Garcia looking to win a belt.
stiff. He needs to move his head a little bit more.
He's keeping the perfect distance, Errol Spence. And now he's starting to land some really hard shots. And if Mikey can't land and hurt Errol, he's really in deep trouble.
Body shots 31-7 in favor of Spence.
And that's the thing, Mikey's a tremendous body puncher. He just can't get close enough either way as of yet. And this is the Errol Spence.
Oh, good right hook by Errol Spence.
But this is the champ, Mikey, coming back. He's not going to sit still for that.
Down to 20 seconds.
Great body shot by Errol Spence. But Mikey comes back. He'll counter you. I mean, he's not just laying down, or he's not just, folding because he's getting hit hard by Errol Spence.
Let's head upstairs to Chris, Ray, and Sean.
Yeah, when he got in close, even though Spence landed some good shots, Mikey.
Our Marcos Villegas has scored it 60-54, giving each of the first 6 rounds to Errol Spence Jr. In round 6, Spence landed 13 jabs. That's more than double the welterweight average.
Keep Mikey at bay, which he's been doing all night. Very, very slick defense. He knows what punch is going to come after he throws a certain punch.
And Derek James is right. Errol needs to shorten up on the punches because he doesn't want to leave himself.
Even though he's not shortening up on his punches, he still hasn't paid the price for it. But it's always good to be cautious. But I will tell you, Mikey Garcia's got to use his feet. He's not using his feet to come forward. He's trying to counterpunch, but he's got to do that. He's got to put a hustle on with his feet if he really wants to be successful.
Round 7, winding down here in Arlington.
See?
Mikey has to get a little closer, but there you see the long arms of Errol Spence Jr. throwing that roundhouse body punch. Little long, but he's still catching him. There's the one up the middle. And here's the last shot. Over with that left hand coming around Mikey's gloves.
Certainly looked like Errol Spence was landing the heavier shots, without a doubt.
Yeah, he was connecting.
Well, this is 8 of 12, and if Mikey Garcia is going to make any headway, he's got to make his move yesterday. I mean, so he's got to really do something spectacular in the next few rounds. He's got to hurt Errol Spence at least.
Well, I don't think he's going to hurt Errol Spence because, you know, when you look at both of their knockout ratios, Errol Spence has the highest knockout ratio.
21 of 24 for Spence.
Keep him up, baby. Keep him up. Keep him up.
Ooh. Mikey got hit with what he thought was a low blow when he was complaining to the ref, and a right hook just whistled by his chin. I mean, he can't take his eye off the ball there, not with a guy like Spence.
Look at the total number of punches landed, only 45 by Garcia, and we are in round 8. Spence now at 166.
Seems like that jab is really bothering Mikey Garcia because he's putting up that left hand.
What Spence is doing great too is he's actually boxing nicely. He's, you know, for a guy that is considered just, he's stepping back when Mikey's stepping in, sometimes countering, sometimes just making Mikey Garcia miss like that. So he's playing a really smart game, and then he gets back in and he'll start touching you again.
And Mikey's known for that left hook. I haven't seen that left hook yet, and that's his, you know, that's his good punch.
Left hook is hard to get off on a southpaw. You know, that works really well against right-handers, but against southpaws, it's really hard, especially when you got a jab taking up all the time on your left hook side. You know what I mean?
Final minute, round 8, scheduled for 12 in Arlington. Only 4 of 33.
There's a couple good right hands, little choppers that Mikey's landing on the inside, but to what effect? Because here comes Errol, man, just throwing some really strong punches. Little uppercut, straight left hand, and a right hook right behind it. Ooh.
Oh, left by Spence. Only 26% of his.
I have to rush him.
Okay, yeah, even when he takes chances, though, what's he going to do with it? I mean, score points, that's not going to win him this fight. It's too far gone already, you know?
Right, but he needs to throw some punches.
At the beginning of this round,
he's looking. It seems like he's looking for that perfect punch. That perfect punch is never going to be there. He's got to throw punches to get that perfect punch.
At the beginning of this round, our Felix de Jesus heard from Mikey Garcia's corner, be careful.
And Errol stepped it up a little bit in this round.
Yeah, I think Errol would like to, you know, do what he does best, and that's really pressure you and eventually take you out. It may not be that easy to take Mikey out. You know, we're already in the 9th round, but he's not landing. Well, he's landing there right now. Very solid stuff.
Oh, left uppercut by Spence.
Mikey's taking these punches on the chin.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of these punches he's going to be able to take. This is what happens when you step up. You know, these guys punch a lot heavier. And this is Spence's weight class, and Spence is saying no guys from the lower weight class is going to come up and beat me in my weight class. I'm the king of this weight class. He's saying.
Spence does that to welterweights as well. I mean, whether you step up or not, the bottom line is that he's got Mikey on the run and on the verge of a knockout right here, and he looks like he's looking for a knockout against Garcia.
See, Mikey threw that left hook. That left hook was slow.
Couple of right jabs by Spence.
Boy, he's really got Mikey on the run right now. And if I don't know if he could take another round like this next round if Errol Spence turns on the heat like he did this round.
Final seconds of round 9.
Some great action by Spence. He wants to mix it up a little bit more, so he steps to him, throwing some good body punches. Good body punches. Then he comes up to the head. His hands are nice and high. He's got Mikey up against the ropes, crowding him right now, putting him in the corner. Unanswered punch. And here we see him on some super slow-mo. Spence coming in with that right hook. Mikey falling against the ropes. Here's that last punch coming. Was blocked. Blocked.
He may get him after this performance.
Spence in round 9 landing 51 punches, most by a Garcia opponent in 20 fights.
Good right hand by Spence.
Well, Robert saw what we were talking about last round, which was he could not afford to take another round like he did in the 9th round and the 10th round here. And I'm talking about Mikey Garcia taking that type of punishment. And Robert will stop the fight if he thinks his brother is taking too many punches. And even if it wasn't his brother, it would be a smart move because, you know, you got to watch out for your fighter regardless if it's your family or not.
And remember, as we mentioned earlier, Mikey was told by many, including some in his camp, that this fight was too risky.
Every fight is risky, but this one is especially risky because you're in there with a machine in Errol Spence who really devastates most of his opponents, whether it's to the body or head, but eventually he wears you down and just thoroughly, you know, thrashes you. And he's sticking to the script right here.
Spence putting on a clinic.
He is. And against a guy that is really not easy to put a clinic on against, whether you're bigger than him or...
Having
7. Spence threw a fight-high 125 punches in round 10.
Without it being stopped. But he's not doing himself any favor by sitting on the ropes right there, because that's where he will take punishment.
Mikey Garcia needs to knock out Errol Spence to win this fight.
Of course.
But right now he's too busy protecting himself from this onslaught of Errol Spence's combinations.
He is. He's doing a good job of blocking these big punches, though, but something's going to slip in eventually if Mikey doesn't counter.
Spence throwing a barrage of punches here in round 11.
It's not looking good. Well, he's looking for a counter shot. It was too little too late.
Spence has landed over 300 punches. Garcia only 63. DeMarcos Villegas.
Yeah, Kenny, so far I have it 190 for Errol Spence. We're seeing him now mix up his body attack, which I was looking to see in the early rounds, but Spence showing over the course of this fight that he has another game.
At least focused. He doesn't look like he's lost focus yet, where he's being dazed, even though the referee, John Shirley's really keeping a close eye on things, as well as the corner.
You know, he's being a punching bag right now. You know, he's getting all that. He's receiving a lot of punishment and punches, which is slowing him down. So anytime he attempts to throw a punch, he's not going to have the energy to get that punch through.
I know. We think they're going for the win because the win is impossible. So he's blocking a lot of those punches. He's taking some good shots, no doubt, here and there, but he's still capable of trying to counter. And I'm talking about Garcia. But Errol Spence is really turning up the heat right now. There's 20 seconds left.
I think Errol Spence just likes the box inside right now. He doesn't need to keep the fight from a distance. Yeah, so he's, you know, right now he's just stepping towards Mikey and loving it. And he's being smart too, because as soon as he hears that bell, he's right by his corner. Right. And here we see another Spence flurry. Just stepping towards Mikey. Mixing.
Mikey Garcia acknowledging the crowd as we begin the 12th and final round. Errol Spence Jr. fighting past 11 for the first time in his pro career. He's never gone to round 12.
No, and Derek James doesn't, his trainer doesn't want him to. He said, you got to go get him, go get him, go get him. Now, he knows he's got the fight clearly won, but yet he's telling his guy to go out and not play it safe in the 12th round like you would normally.
I think he wants him to get stopped.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he wants to get the knockout victory, just as it is a moral victory for Garcia to go the 12. It's kind of a little bit of a letdown not to be able to stop a guy that's a 135-pounder as well on the other side of the coin, right?
This is, you know, Mikey's a good fighter.
He's a great fighter.
He's a great.
That's why he's still here.
He knows how to protect himself. Usually, other guys would probably get stopped by now, but you know, Mikey's doing a good job of protecting himself.
let me tell you, he's proven himself to have a lot of courage, a lot of strength mentally and physically, and he took the challenge. He's coming up short on the challenge, but man, I mean, it takes a lot of guts and bravery to take this type of challenge on against a machine like Errol Spence, and he is a fantastic boxer, puncher, body puncher. He's a great champion.
Well, Mikey Garcia, champion in 4 different weight classes, 39-0. Errol Spence Jr. at 24-0, the current IBF World welterweight title holder. It has been Spence in control right from the start.
Mikey slipped a couple of big punches, and you know he popped out a couple of short right hands, but that's as much as he's getting accomplished right now. He's got 1 minute left to survive this 12th round and get the moral victory of lasting 12 rounds with Errol Spence. Not many guys can or have.
That's true.
Spence and Garcia have great respect for one another, spent a lot of time together. They were out in Los Angeles on a couple of occasions for press conferences. And then earlier this week, here in Arlington, Mikey Garcia said, "Errol reminds me of me."
Well, Spence just keeps coming, especially in this last round. He's trying to go for broke right here and close the show.
Well, he's got 25 seconds to 20 seconds to do it with right now, and I don't think he's going to do it.
Two undefeated champions go the distance.
And in the beginning, he started off throwing a right left. Sometimes a straight right left, sometimes around the corner right left. And ending up on the body, throwing some good body shots, keeping up the pressure. Here's that straight left, slipping and coming back. Errol Spence.
Total punches over 1,000 thrown by Errol Spence, connecting on 32%. Garcia connecting on 18%. And the total power punches, Spence landing 51%, Garcia 25%. And the punches landed to the head and the body.
I mean, look at that, 75 to 340.
But after 12 rounds of action here at AT&T Stadium, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Glenn Feldman, scores the bout 120 to 107. Judges Alex Levine and Nelson Vasquez both scored the bout 120 to 108. All three in favor of the winner, remaining undefeated, proving he is one of the elite champions of the sport today, and still the IBF welterweight champion.